Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Stock Market with your weekly analysis for US oil done on Tuesday, 9th of April. I'm recording this video now just after 8 PM in the evening New York time on Tuesday the 9th New York time. Last week's analysis expected oil to move lower. It certainly has. My target was 94.52. It's reached $2.53 below that target to reach down to 91.99 before turning higher. So we got the downwards movement we expected. We have a really clear trend channel breach of this channel drawn here using Elliott's technique around this upward zigzag from minute wave 2. So we now have trend channel confirmation that minute 2 is over and minute 3 is now underway. The targets remain the same. This target for minute wave 3 still probably at least a couple of weeks away, if not longer. At 83.35, it would reach 1.618, the length of minute wave 1. Then we'll have a fourth wave correction and another downwards wave. The target for minor wave 3 still several weeks away. At 71.33, it would reach 1.618, the length of minor wave 1. So it looks like we may be entering some very strong downwards movement for oil as price moves towards the middle of a third wave, of a third wave, of a third wave. My labelling within minute 3 so far, I've labelled this as minuet 1 and 2. I may look at this degree of labelling in here and maybe move it all down 1 degree. It depends how long the next downwards wave is. Let's have a look at this on the hourly chart, where this high and start of minute wave 3 up here is this point up here. So far to the downside we have quite a nice 5-wave impulse, except there are no adequate Fibonacci ratios between subminuet wave 1, 3 and 5. However, within this third wave there is a nice ratio. Microwave 3 is very close to equality with microwave 5. So this is where a downwards 5-wave impulse has ended, and subminuet wave 5 is slightly lower than the end of 3. It's avoided a truncation, and this sideways and higher movement is very choppy and overlapping, pretty clearly corrective. When we use Elliott's channeling technique to draw a channel around this downwards 5-wave impulse, from the low of 1 to 3 with a parallel copy on the high of 2, we can see that that channel is very clearly breached by upwards movement. So at the hourly chart level we have confirmation that this downwards impulse is over and a correction to correct it is now underway. So I've drawn a Fibonacci retracement along the length of minuet wave 1, and I'll expect minuet wave 2 to maybe reach up to about the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio at 95.54. My target is slightly below this point. At 95.07, microwave 5 would reach equality in length with micro 1, just a bit above that. At 95.29, subminuet wave C would reach 1.618, the length of subminuet wave 1. And I expect that target may be a couple of sessions away, depending on how fast the upwards final fifth wave moves. Alternatively, it may be that subminuet wave B may not be over. It may be moving further sideways as a flat or a double combination. With a 3 down for A, we may have a 3 up for B and a 5 down for C. If that happens, subminuet wave B may not move beyond the start of A because A subdivides to a 5. In the short term, this wave counters and validated with movement below 91.99. That's in the short term until we have another new high beyond the end of micro 3 here. As soon as we get that, remove the short-term invalidation point and look out for a trend change. So I'm expecting for oil 1 or 2 sessions of upwards movement with a reasonably good probability for this target zone, and then I'm expecting some more downwards movement for oil, and I'm expecting downwards movement to increase in momentum to the downside next week. This little channel we should now draw around this correction for minuet 2, draw it from the start of the A wave to the end of the B wave, and place a parallel copy on the end of the A wave. Sometimes seaways, particularly for commodities, overshoot these channels, so I'll expect for this channel to be overshot on the way up while this correction ends, and then subsequent movement below this channel would give us confirmation that the correction is over, and the next wave down should then be underway. The next wave down for oil is the middle of a third wave, possibly. So we may be getting near the middle of a third wave, or at least the start of that middle of a third wave. I'm expecting 1 or 2 sessions of upwards choppy movement for a little correction to end, and then I'm expecting downwards movement next week for oil, and I'm expecting momentum to the downside to increase. That's all for me today with your oil analysis, and I hope that everybody had a fantastic weekend.